Hello and welcome to another episode of Vegan Cheesecake, your favorite podcast all about vegan food. And
The Golden Girls.
I'm Dave Huffman, the bitchy vegan homo.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Vegan Vicki of Urban Sweetness.
And today we are going to be talking about Joust Between Friends, episode
Yes.
9 of season 2.
Season 2.
And rumor,
Yes.
rumor has it you love this episode.
I do. This is one of my, season 2 is my season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I love this season, and this is one of my favorite episodes from the season. And I think I love it because, of course, it has the dogs in it, but I think it's because of all the interactions between the girls. It just seems so extra in this episode, and I love it.
I would say that I don't think this one, aside from Sophia having some great one-liners, this one doesn't have a ton of like hilarious lines, but I think the characters in this are sort of like at their most defined. I mean, sure, we don't see Blanche too like man crazy, but like all of the characters are so clearly like who they are in their essence in this episode. So I think you're right about that. So this episode is all about the main storyline involves Dorothy getting a job at the museum with Blanche, and then the
Yes.
subplot is what you love because it has a doggy in it. With it
Yes.
has Rose finding a little stray dog and trying to find its owner. And
Right. But first of all, I got a whole problem with that. I'm
all
like
right, let's hear.
Rose,
Okay.
the stray dog.
Uh-huh.
And then she gonna say it followed her home from the market.
Well,
That's a
because
problem.
she stole it.
Basically.
Like Dorothy says, how did he follow you? You drove. How did he follow you home? Take a
How
cab?
did he follow you? I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's right. So that dog, who I felt bad for any dog that furry in the Miami heat, he probably was just looking to get out, get into some air conditioning. Is why he jumped into her car.
Tell the truth, because it's got to be
Mm-hmm.
hot down there, and
Mm-hmm.
he just is scruffy
Now,
and furry.
let me ask you this: how when Rose is doing the voice of the dog, she does like a real like weird dopey voice. She does both her voice and the dog's voice whenever she's
Yes.
talking. And of course, Sophia has that great line. She's like, I don't know how she gets away with it. If she was my age, she'd be like locked up in Shady Pines making boats out of popsicle
Boats out of
sticks.
popsicle sticks. There you go.
But when do you ever do voices for your dog? That's what I wanted to know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zoe and I have many a conversation.
So what does Zoe's voice sound like?
Oh, I know you didn't. Zoe's voice sounds like, "Oh, come here, pumpkin." It's really high pitched,
Yeah, all
and
right.
she looks at me like I'm crazy when I do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, because
And
that's
yeah,
not what she's thinking. That's not what she's
no,
saying.
it's not at all. She half the time she's saying, "Get off of me,"
Yeah.
because I want to like hug her all the time, and
Uh-huh.
she's like literally like pushing me
Mm,
off, like, "Lady,
yeah.
we was hugging 5 minutes ago. Get off of me."
Yeah, I never really do voices for my pets. Like I don't know that they have voices per se, but
Hmm.
I certainly talk to them, but I don't provide their answers. But of course, since I'm dealing with cats, the answer is usually, if I'm saying, "What the hell are you doing up on that counter?" the answer is always just going to be, "I'm a cat." So
Right,
like what's the point? They're
right.
just being who they are.
The
Furry
look
little
is gonna be
friends.
like, "What the hell you think I'm doing on the counter?"
And again, back to like the main story though of this is with Dorothy getting the job at the museum with Blanche, and of course
Right.
Blanche's jealousy. But I loved whenever Blanche, says, "Oh, I'm going to get you an interview with her boss, Mr. Allen," and then weirdly she's sitting in there with Dorothy for the job interview. I
During the
mean,
interview.
yeah, obviously for comedic purposes, not,
Had to
but
be.
why would you ever have like someone else sitting in on your job interview with you like that? That was just weird, you know.
Listen, they may have to, maybe she was a character witness. A
Well,
character.
she was selling Dorothy, and of
Yes, she
course,
was.
but I love that boss was completely just he didn't even care what was
Mr.
going on
Allen
because
didn't care. Mr. Allen was just mad that he got caught in the affair.
Yeah,
That's
he
all
was
that was.
that, but the structure of that scene was so good because he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's not every day that a man catches his best friend in bed with his wife, and then of course he was the best friend in
She's
bed
like,
with
"Oh,
the
I'm
wife."
so
Yeah,
sorry."
yeah.
He's like, "He's never come home before."
So he was the adulterer.
He
Yeah,
was. Oh,
he was the
nasty Mr.
dirtbag,
Allen.
Mr. Allen.
Yes, that
But
is crazy.
have you ever had a really awkward or weird job interview like that?
I thought you was about to ask me, have I ever had an affair like that? I was like, well, that's for
That's
another show.
Yeah,
Mind your business. No,
we'll have plenty of time to talk about that and your tawdry love life.
come on. Um,
Mm.
no, you know what? Let's see, I can't remember. Well, no, you know what? It wasn't kind of like it wasn't. It was just like an interview. Like, okay, well, my dad. There was a woman that really liked my dad, and my dad
Mhm.
made me get a job for the summer.
Uh-huh.
And it was for I was working at the Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. Okay, I was doing maintenance work,
Mhm.
and like I walked in, and she was like, "Oh, you James's girl? Okay, well you got the job." I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Hooray for nepotism. Yeah.
Thank you. And the thing is, and I'm like, I kind of dressed the part, I'm going
Uh-huh.
in for an interview. And she was just like, sign these papers, you got the job. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
okay.
Wow.
So
So
yeah,
as long as she had a pulse, you were okay, you got hired.
basically,
Uh-huh.
basically, that's
Mm.
what I'm feeling. A
Yeah.
post a pulse and a good looking dad. That's all I guess that was the qualification.
Well,
Cause
hey,
I got that job.
whatever it takes.
Hey, that's all I'm saying.
I never had like I never had a weird job interview like that where I was being interviewed, but
Hmm.
for my years when I was a manager and hiring people, I've had many very strange applicants and weird interviews from like because I was mostly hiring like young like high school kids, so it was like their first job, so they had no idea what they were doing, and there was one kid one time who was so nervous during the interview, like physically shaking. You could tell he was a nice kid, but he was just so nervous. I've never
Oh
seen anybody
wow.
that like nervous in his life that I decided to hire him just because I figured if he didn't get this job, it would irreparably damage him the rest of his
Oh
life.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And he'll be looking for you. He would be
and
looking for you.
he ended up doing a good job and everything, but like he was so nervous, I literally just hired him because I felt like if I didn't, he would have just been just wrecked. So that was
That
a
is
pity hire.
so
Yeah.
funny.
I didn't ask if his father was attractive though. I should have asked. I
Hey,
guess
how
you're
you
I guess
doing,
I
Dad?
guess you're not allowed to ask those questions during the job interviews. It was only because the woman that hired you already knew you had an attractive dad. So, mhm,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
Doggone those laws.
my favorite all-time applicant that I got was this kid who filled out an application, and for his name, all it said was ICE. ICE.
Okay. Okay, ice.
I'm
Yes.
He didn't even get an interview, but I'm guessing that's not his birth name. So I just
I would hey, you never know. You never
and
know. But
name.
ice, that's okay.
Yeah, that's a good. I hope his mom and dad actually named him that, and then he's continues to like yell at them like he's never been able to find a job because no one will hire him because his name
Nobody
is
will hire
Ice.
because they think
Yeah,
he playing. Oh wow. Hey,
poor
you be
kid.
like, ice, ice, come here, baby. Ice, ice,
Hmm.
baby.
There you go.
Get it? Get
It
ice.
wasn't, and it wasn't so long after that was actually. So it could have been that. That could have been the reasoning. Who knows?
Wow.
He could have been a
That's
Vanilla Ice fan.
hilarious.
Yeah, and
Okay. Work it. Mm, 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 mm,
so
mm,
so
mm, mm. Okay,
So
I'm sorry.
Dorothy gets that's okay. Dorothy gets the job working at the museum, and we finally
She
get to see what Blanche does. And apparently, she's executive assistant, I guess, to the museum director. I didn't really know
I
what she
get,
did at the museum.
I guess because she really wasn't doing too much
Hmm. No, well,
except
that's
picking up the papers and tooting out with the pencils and all that
mhm.
stuff
And this is just supposed to be a temp job for Dorothy while she's in between like a
on her little
semester or
10-week
whatever, 10 week
sabbatical.
sabbatical or whatever for
Right.
school. And but she took over. She's a force, and then it made Blanche just go crazy with
It
jealousy.
did.
It was a new
And
kind of jealousy for Blanche.
it was because she
Mhm.
just didn't think that anybody. could do her job, but then she found out any idiot could do it.
Yeah, doesn't that make you feel good to know that any idiot could do your
Absolutely,
job?
that any
Mm,
idiot could do your job.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
Yes.
I love that Dorothy was packing her lunch in that giant brown paper bag,
Listen,
uh,
because you
when
gotta
she was
eat.
getting ready. Well, but how much was she taking? And then she forgot her lunch, which is a classic Dave Huffman move. I have left more packed lunches sitting on the counter or
On the
table.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh, you and me both. I'm like,
always.
and you get ready to eat, and you're like, I
Oh,
left my lunch.
yeah. Now I have to go spend money. Mhm,
Right. And then like your mouth was waiting
mhm.
for that
And it
particular lunch.
and it's gotta be
Come,
hard for you since you don't like to eat other people's food.
I know it. It is. See, you got to throw that in there. Okay, I see what we doing. I see what we doing today.
Mhm. Well, so speaking of food, I know you just had your little your Cinco de well, it was like Cinco de Uno, right? Or
Fiesta Saturday.
Fiesta Saturday. That's what you called it. I couldn't remember what you called it. Yeah, in anticipation of Cinco de Mayo, you did it on
Exactly.
Saturday. And how did that
Exactly.
go? I
It
didn't
went
make it over
really
there.
well. It
Yeah.
went really well. I made me some tacos while I was there. It was
Nice.
really good. Everything went really well. The
Excellent.
people liked it, but for those that
Hmm.
did not get anything, I had burrito bowls, tacos, and the nachos. But
Mm.
I made this cheese sauce for the
Uh huh.
nachos that was really good. And you know what? I um I have to admit this to this is our secret, everybody.
Okay.
This is our
Just
vegan cheesecake secret. So I have this thing where people say, "Hey, can you make this?" I'm like, "Psh, "Yeah, I've made that before. Yeah, I can do that."
so
And
you're
I've
admitting to being a liar, right? Is what you're saying.
basically not on all things, just on sometimes the food.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's so funny because I've made, cheese sauces and stuff before, but I was like, I really want to try this nacho cheese sauce. And I
Mhm.
tried it and it was so flipping good. So I
Excellent.
had to pat myself on the head for
Well, I'll have to
that.
try yours sometime.
Yes.
I make a very delicious queso as well, but it would kill you because it does have cashews in it.
Uh-oh.
However, you could easily sub out the cashews for like some silken tofu, and then it would be a less lethal version for you. And
Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
my queso sauce is one of the things that people seem to love about it, and actually, or love about me, I should say. And I mean, there's so many things to love about me,
I was
Vicky.
about to say
You know,
the
uh,
list is endless.
it really is. It's just amazing how many different things people can love about me.
I'm
But
telling you.
one of the things I've been meaning to work on, speaking of cheesy sauce kind of things, is a new Alfredo. And I've been experimenting, and I made one a while
Mm.
back. And I think I told you about it. Maybe we even talked about it on the show, where I thought I had unsweetened soy milk, and I had sweetened, and it was like it just wasn't very good. Like it was sweet.
Oh yeah, we talked about, yeah, that's a bad, yeah.
Yeah, and then but I decided I would do an adaptation of my queso sauce and just make it as an Alfredo
Mm.
sauce. So just a few little minor adjustments, and that recipe's up on my website now too. So you can check out. I made like this Alfredo Primavera, and it was delicious.
Ooh.
It was really really good. It had all the kind of
Nice.
rich creaminess of Alfredo without any of the disgusting dairy in it. So yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
I know I'm sorry. This is not going to get really political, but kind of political,
All
like kind
right.
of where we don't
We,
go, but it
we
just
try to keep it light.
we try to keep it light, but no, this is going to be a light moment. It's going
All
to be a
right.
light moment. So there's this one milk commercial, right? Where
Okay.
the lady is talking and she's like, I thought I was lactose intolerant, but just comes to find out, I just was allergic to a protein commonly found in milk. And then I was thinking, I was like, dude, that's because the protein, it's not for you.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Uh,
okay,
yeah.
you just
Uh,
not finding that out? Okay,
that's
that was my moment.
that's one of those like dairy desperation ads because the dairy industry is hurting as more and more people are switching over to plant-based milks.
Right.
So
But it was
that's
just so funny.
yeah.
I was like,
That's
who made up this commercial?
mm,
Yeah,
that is
that's
amazing.
all. Yeah. So back to the
Back to
but wait,
the
no,
what? Oh, what? You
Right.
got one other thing?
No, 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 not from that. But I was gonna talk about the
No.
Golden Girls.
Oh, but that's what I was going to talk about. Let's talk about
I
the
know.
Golden Girls.
Wait, one of my favorite scenes though is when Sophia comes to drop Dorothy's lunch off,
Uh-huh.
and when
Oh.
Mr. Allen comes up, and he's like, "I'd love to show you some of
Uh-huh.
my go gams."
Yeah, he wants to show her his two Gauguins. She's like, "I have been what are you, a pervert?" Yeah. She's
That
like,
is, oh my gosh,
yeah. She's like, "I was
that
married for 45 years and I never saw my
and
husband go
my
Gans."
husband's go gams.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
a good one.
gosh, that
See,
was
I
just
I thought you were gonna say that you loved whenever Sophia was talking about giving the dog sherry because she was apparently getting the dog drunk. The dog had a
yeah.
hangover.
Oh yeah, honey. She said, oh no, it was probably the sherry.
Yeah.
It's probably the
Yeah.
sherry the dog drank. Oh my
Mhm.
god, that was funny. And
Now, let
then
me
she's like, "You." Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to ask you because Sophia also had some great kind of personal hygiene advice in this episode when she talks about what she does every Monday and Thursdays,
Oh yeah,
which
rinsing
is
out her drawers,
rinsing out her underwear.
and she only does that twice a week.
Well, this is what I had a lot of questions about. So does that mean that does she have a single pair of underwear that she just washes on Mondays and Thursdays? Or
I
does
was,
she Does she have, like, underwear that maybe lasts Friday through Monday, and then she washes that on Monday, and then she has the other pair that she wears, like, Tuesday through I wanna know what her system is. I had other questions, that's all.
I, I was very perplexed about this. I didn't. I was like,
Mm.
Sophia, so you is you only washing on these days?
She's just r she doesn't even say she's washed, she's just rinsing them out.
She rinsing. That's true. She just rinsing out the underwear, which got me. I didn't understand. I'm a little confused.
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
very confused about it.
Well,
So
yeah. There's a
yeah,
lot of things to ask.
I can't even go there with you. I don't because I don't know. I don't even want to begin to
Well,
think that I even know.
now let me ask you some more underwear questions since we're on this topic.
Yes,
Since we seem to end up talking about underwear a lot on this show.
absolutely.
Do you Are you the kind of person that as soon as the underwear starts to like fall apart in any way, do you go, okay, that pair of underwear is done, like the elastic's starting to go, whatever, it's got a hole in it, whatever, you throw it out, or are you like, nah, it's not to critical mass yet, I can keep this for a little while longer?
Oh, I'm holding on to the draws. I hold on to the draws,
Well, that's
and
good.
this is
Don't
I
be
hold on to
wasteful.
the draws. I hate wasting stuff, and I'm gonna tell you, it takes me forever. Like Cindy and I'm like for every year for Christmas, I make
Uh-huh.
this like a everything basket for her, like an
Okay.
everything box. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
buy like underwear, stockings, it's all
Mm-hmm.
kind of things like that. But I have the hardest time buying underwear for myself.
Hmm.
So it's like I'll keep underwear for like ever. And what makes it so bad, and I don't know, and I'm probably telling, but if anybody has pets or dogs,
Yeah.
like I like some of my underwear, I literally have to throw it away because after I get it out of the like dryer and stuff,
Uh-huh.
Zoe literally finds my panties and
Mm.
chews them. So I literally have like a
uh,
dog footprint
So
in
you
my
just got
panties.
like a supply of like dog chewed panties. That now
Absolutely.
do you let Zoe just keep chewing on them, or do you just go, oh no,
You
got to
know
zip
what?
them up?
I some of I they're hers.
Mm.
But the thing about it is, once she does what she does, she don't want them anymore.
Hmm. Well,
And
isn't that the way?
listen, hey, I done had a couple men like that. I'm just saying
That
that's a whole
that
nother
is.
podcast.
Hmm.
But
That's a whole other story.
right. But it's just the worst. So
Uh,
I mean the whole the Sophia thing, I'm like, but no, I'll keep some panties now.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep the
I,
underwear.
I tend to, as soon as the underwear starts to fail, it goes. But the thing I always hated spending money on was socks. I used to hate spending money on socks, but now I don't mind spending money on socks
Hmm.
because I have a friend that we would go sock shopping specifically. It was like a little activity for us. So that's something we bonded
Nice.
over. And I actually, I'm I'm in my quarantine where I'm just walking around the house all the time,
Okay.
shuffling around in my socks. I've noticed that I've worn the heels down on a few pairs, so I'm gonna need some socks. That's gonna might be the first post
Okay.
quarantine shopping spree is going to be for socks.
Sock shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
However, I I don't know. I like buying socks, but I just figured like why do it if the sock monster's gonna take them? The
Is
sock
that so-
monster is real.
well, and probably named Zoe in your house.
I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
but the sock monster is a real thing. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
He's a real thing.
Now, let me ask you if you have this in common with Blanche. If you are backed into a corner, do you either A, come out fighting like a wildcat, or B, slide down the wall and just make love on the carpet?
Hey, it depends. It depends. But you know what? But for me, I'm probably gonna be like, I'm coming out swinging. I'm
Yeah.
coming out swinging
Mm,
because that's my nature. That's what I do.
you're a
Not saying
wildcat.
it's a good thing,
That's what you're saying.
but I'm just saying,
Vegan Vicky Wildcat. Um,
yes,
I loved my favorite insult in this whole episode was whenever Blanche walks in and just so in the best Southern kind of put down way, she just
that's
tells
what she
Dorothy
say.
to eat dirt and die trash.
Eat dirt and die trash. Listen, it just flowed so well.
Yeah.
It just flowed so well. You gotta
I
love
love.
them.
Yeah, eat dirt and die trash. It was great. Yeah, I hope someday I get to say that to someone and mean it. That
Oh,
would be
that
a
would be so
that'd be a
awesome.
good day.
Oh
Hmm.
my gosh. Wait, but when Sophia told her, listen, now that you, she said she's going to eat a hard candy.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I'm
She
going to
said,
the kitchen to eat a hard candy.
best line. She said, I'm going to eat a hard candy.
Mm.
Like that is just the
Uh,
epitome of just after I told you I'm going to eat a hard candy now.
and are you a hard candy fan? Do you like that kind of stuff or
Not
not?
really. You know what? I'm not a
Yeah,
big candy person.
yeah. I'm not really either. I like Twizzlers and a good vegan chocolate bar or something like that. But I'm not like eating hard candy kind of guy.
No,
For as
you
much
know what?
as
I
much as I
will.
love sugar.
Yeah. Now I will eat like a peppermint every now and then,
Okay. Hmm.
but other than that, nope.
I remember one time someone was eating a peppermint patty around me, and I
Hmm.
said, and they had like they were eating like multiple ones, and I said, boy, I've never seen somebody eat that many dead horses that fast. And they're like,
Wow.
"What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, read the ingredients because they have gelatin in them." And she was like, "What?" She was like horrified then. Like it's like people just don't even know what they're eating sometimes.
Right. That's so funny. I was on um I was on channel 8 one time and I was talking to one of the anchors and we were talking about gelatin and everything. And I said, well, no, I don't eat, we don't eat gelatin.
Mhm.
She said, really? What's wrong with gelatin? And I said, and it was one of my things I tell people all the time. I'm like, do you really want to know? Because
Yeah.
I just tell them, I'm like, do
Uh.
just let, if you really want to know, I'll tell you. But if not, I'd rather.
Yep.
So I started explaining to her what it was. She was like, I'm
Yeah.
never eating gelatin again. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of.
Hmm.
She was like, no, that
It's
can't be. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's true. So funny. But people don't
eh,
really understand.
no, they don't. No, they
Ugh,
don't because if you don't, why would you think about that? Like, it's just
that's true.
you don't even think.
That's true.
It is true. And oh, I wanted to ask you if you've been working on anything this week or anything you've made that you were all excited about.
What did I make? I didn't make anything.
No,
And
nothing.
I did well, you know what? I made, the food from last week,
Yeah, but
but
you didn't I see you post something about you did something about like salad dressing? Weren't you doing another thing where you made your own salad dressings one
oh
day or something? Yeah.
yeah, I made you know
Mhm.
what? OMG. Oh my God. I did. I did make
I
something.
think I know your life better than you do.
You do. You do. That's why I keep you around.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
only reason I keep you around.
I'm like your real-time biographer.
That's you go. But
Mhm.
no, I was working on my brisket. I'm
Oh,
working on
mhm.
my brisket recipe. So now that
Okay.
I got my chicken together, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, let me work on my brisket recipe. So I
Gotcha.
made a brisket yesterday
Mm-hmm.
and I've got some onions pickling, some red onions
Mm.
pickling. So, and then I made a Carolina Gold barbecue sauce.
Oh,
And I'm going to make a brisket sandwich um with the
the pickled
Carolina
onions and all
sauce
that stuff.
and the pickled
Oh,
onion.
I'll eat that.
Yeah, I know, right? So
That
that's what I'm working on.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I'm working on. And I'm also working on getting my videos together.
Yeah.
Cause I gotta, you're like the master of it.
Oh, I'm not the master of it. I'm
Y-
like behind on that stuff too, but I did finally get the video uploaded to my YouTube channel of me eating that entire cake that I did on Instagram
Did
Live
you?
like
Okay, I have to look.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
So if you want to sit there and watch me you know, slowly trying to eat an entire birthday cake that I made for another friend who didn't get that cake. So
Right.
so that's up there now.
It was
And
awesome.
yeah, and yeah, I've been trying to do a little more. I did like one day. I did. It's like saved as my Instagram story highlights. The making the uh, pineapple oatmeal pancakes, which also that's on my list to try to do,
Yes.
and it's yummy.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know what else I got to do? I got to start getting in on some of these challenges you
All
and
right.
my girl do. Yeah,
Yeah,
you and
me.
Kelly. I
Yeah,
got to
she
do
did.
it.
She challenged me to
I saw
this.
that.
It was a 5 ingredient challenge. It was like
Yes.
I had 3 hours. I could only pick 5 ingredients out of my fridge. If someone else was in the house, I think someone else was supposed to pick the 5 ingredients to make it more challenging. But
Right.
I decided, hey, I decided to make deep fried Oreos. That was my
Yeah, they
five
looked
ingredients.
amazing too. I said,
They were so
"Oh,
good. And there's nothing more responsible than eating deep fried Oreos as your breakfast. That's when you
absolutely."
know that's when you know you're a real grown up.
I was about to say, and if you're a real G, you would
Yeah.
have put a little chocolate sauce on it or something. But
Well,
that's
yeah, that would have been a sixth ingredient. I was
oh,
going
that is
to,
six, right? Okay,
but I dusted them a little with powdered sugar, figuring sugar. There's already sugar in it, so that's still the same ingredient. But
right.
I started to get out. I had a bottle of some ganache that was left. I have a bottle in my fridge, and I was
Mmm.
going to melt that down and do a little glazing and drizzle over. But then I opted not to. So,
Okay, yeah, that would have been dope. Oh, that would have
but
been so
but,
good.
but they were really good. Yeah, I
They
recommend
look
it.
good. You know what? Because when they get warm and then the cream inside
Hmm.
actually gets
It
gooey.
it all just kind of melds
Oh,
into. I had never even had a fried Oreo before. It was the first time. Whenever I would go to
wow.
Vegas with my friend Matt, he would always get, it was like someplace down in Fremont Street. It's like three uh, deep fried Oreos for $1 or something stupid like that. And he would
Right.
always get them, and I couldn't eat them because they weren't vegan. And I was jealous, so I finally just made my own. Hmm.
Heck yeah.
And they were delicious. I recommend it. It was so easy to make too. It was just like a cup of flour, 3/4 cups of soy milk, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon or half teaspoon of baking powder, and then just mix that up. That's the batter, and then just dip your Oreos in there, and then fry them up at like in your oil at like 375 degrees. There you go.
Oh, that's awesome. They looked
Super
amazing.
easy. So there's no reason why you don't make those for your sister some night.
Yeah, I'm not making her not. No, I'm just playing.
Well,
Absolutely.
do you have anything coming up that you'd like to tell everybody about?
You know what? I don't have anything coming up right now.
That's because the
Um,
world is on hold, Vicky. Maybe you're not aware.
you know what? I try not to be aware, but
The world's been
I'm a
canceled.
little right.
Yeah.
So nothing really coming up right now. Just offering family. Oh, family dishes, family
Okay.
feast meals. Yeah, so
Nice.
check out www.urbansweetness.com and
Oh.
stay up to date with everything Urban Sweetness at
Mm,
urban_sweetness, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
nice. And
Yes,
I also don't have anything coming up because, like we were just saying, I'm just sitting around
the
my house most of the
world.
time. It's
Right.
just, yeah. And but you can find great recipes on my website, bitchyveganhomo.com, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest at bitchyveganhomo, and on the Facebook. I actually just said, and on the Facebook,
The
on
Facebook.
Facebook, and on the Facebook, I'm BVH Show. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram at Vegan Cheesecake Pod, on Twitter at Vegan Cheese Pod, and on Facebook Vegan Cheesecake Pod. Yeah, it's just Vegan Cheesecake on the
Yes.
yes. So there you go. That's what we've got going on right now. That's it.
Right.
Except for one other thing, Vicky.
Hey, thank you for being a friend, Dave.
You're welcome.
Bye, everybody.